Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. You notice how I'm sat in mid-air? I'll explain to you that another time. Well, let's just say I had to buy something for my works, for my up-and-coming biomass overhauls that I've got to do, quite a lot of them. And I bought a piece of equipment. Well, I'm sat on that piece of equipment, but I've just thrown a green screen over it. Anyway, the video, the backdrop, slavery, and why I feel as if, with no exceptions, and if Prince admitted it, which he did openly, that he was a slave to his record company. Was it Sony or EMI? I can't remember, but he was a slave to that record company, and he openly admitted that at that time. Quite brave of him to do so. Of course, that meant that he put his whole career on hold while he was in dispute. But you know, there's nothing like sticking up for your principles, is there? So well done, Prince, for sticking up for your principles on modern slavery in music. But this isn't music, this backdrop. And 2,000 years ago, slavery was just commonplace. Of course, the Romans, they took it to the nth degree, didn't they? But all world powers have since always had people in slavery. Certainly the Egyptians did with the Israelites. But modern slavery still exists. There's no getting away from the fact that you will see examples today of people that are enslaved. And to a certain extent, I might think I've got some freedom, some relative freedom, but it's not enough. It's not true freedom because I'm still enslaved to the beast system. I suppose this is what this video is all about. It's to recognize that we will all be enslaved until God's messianic kingdom comes and cuts those binds off us, and so that we'll then be free from Satan's beast system. Well, I can't wait for that day to come. I mean, I still feel as if every day that I wake up, I wish I could express my free will and say, no, I don't want to go in today. But you can't do that as an engineer because you've lined up people to be there. And if you just choose yourself and say you're not going in, you're letting down a lot of people, and eventually you will get a bad name. So I can't help but be Mr. Reliable at this time, even though I don't want to be. I want to cut those chains off me so that I can enjoy my life. And should imagine that all slaves of the past, African slaves, Roman slaves, Egyptian slaves, all they ever wanted was to live on their land, eat the food that they produce. And what's wrong with that? That's just a perfect outcome, isn't it, for a person to live his life, that he can eat the produce of his hard work. Well, that day doesn't seem to be as close in my mind as I wanted it to be, about the scripture about each person enjoying the fruits of his labour, sitting under his own vineyard or vineyard, depends how you want to pronounce it. A good scripture, and a scripture that really a person should keep at the foremost of his spiritual thinking. But you can't help but feel as if all good things that we're still waiting for, you can't help think that they just keep getting pushed back. I know this is in human thinking, not in certainly not in the mind of God and the appointed times of when he set a time to judge the nations. That'll still go ahead when it's supposed to go ahead. But you can't help think, because of our impatient nature, that we've been put on the back burner. Yes, that's why I suppose that scripture about he that endures to the end is the one that will be saved. I should imagine that that's going to have a lot of bearing on a person staying in the race for life. But the gist of this video is that if we are still slaved, chained, there has to be the kingdom that comes in to cut those chains off us before we can truly enjoy the meaning of what it is like to be truly free. And I hope that that day is coming soon. Shall I try and go on to the lotus position? Now, when you get a bit older, you're not as supple, are you? But I always struggle to get into that position where you put one across there and the other one you bring right up. Now, if I tried that now, I'm pretty sure I'd break my left leg pulling it up, which I don't want to do. I'm going to be away for a bit. Again, I'm going to be slaving away, doing what I do, just earning money, just paying bills, just on the conveyor belt of life, people, which is something I always said I never wanted to be a product of. I said that to my snooker buddy back in 1981, and he said, "Man, are you going to be getting married, having children? Are you going to get on the conveyor belt of life?" And I said to him at the time, I said, "Do you know what? I don't think I will be. I don't think I'll be one of those people that do that." Well, it's true. I didn't have children. Yes, I did get married, but I didn't have children. So there was only part fulfillment in that projection at the time. Of course, I've lost touch with that person now. He's probably got married and had kids, so everything that he stood for at the time, he's probably done the opposite of the advice that he gave me. I guess that's why I probably never take the advice of anybody again, because you always get a bum steer, don't you, from people that are not able to look into the future. Anyway, peeps, I'm off. I'm having tea at my ma's. Oh, and she's not going to the assembly. She's not well enough to, so it looks as if I'm not going to be on cat minding duties. So we're going to spend some time together, apparently. My mum says she'll come round and we'll have a look at my home and see what improvements we can make to it. So she's coming round to have a look at it in August, and we're going to do a few things together. But she's not going to the assembly because she doesn't feel as if her health will hold out. Anyway, peeps, I'm off. So I'll see you again. Goodbye.